I recently read an article by Morgan Housel that addressed how wealth is subjective. And I love what he had to say because it seems spot on to me. He referenced a joke by Chris Rock saying, if Bill Gates had Oprah Winfrey's money, he'd jump out a window. The idea being that Bill Gates is so wealthy that having Oprah's money would seem like poverty. Consider where you are financially. Many of us dream to have Oprah money or Bill Gates money. Even Beyonce mentions Bill Gates in her fantastic song Formation. I looked into it, and Beyonce has much less money than Bill Gates. Even the amazingly wealthy fantasize about other people's rich money. The thing is, becoming extraordinarily wealthy is unlikely for most of us. Dealing with our reality is important, and making the best of our situation is the first step in mastering control over your life, whether it's your financial life, your romantic life, or your family life. Consider this. If the wealthiest people in America own 99% of all American wealth, it's clear that you are unlikely to be part of that crowd. Accept it and work towards improving your circumstance, whatever it may be. There'll always be room for improvement. Mr. Housel states in his article 3 points that I think are very helpful. 1. Some people are lucky. And I don't really believe in luck, except that I know that I'm lucky because I've been born in America. I experience privilege. For example, as a young woman, I was pulled over a few times by cops for doing the wrong thing when driving, speeding and the like. I did not get moving violations. I was a pretty young girl once. When traveling, my spouse and I have been waved through security checkpoints, and we've seen dark-skinned gentlemen behind us get thoroughly searched. Often when they wave us through, they say to their colleagues, Americano. This is the explanation to the coworker that we are not a concern. So yes, I'm lucky. But I've also worked hard all my life. I made choices, some good, some terrible. And I'm living the life I live because of the choices I've made, but also because of luck. Mr. Housel states that wealthy people have endurance. They stick it out when others bail. He uses the example of a famous YouTube personality. He said that person suggested most YouTube personalities give up too soon. He advised that people should make 100 videos before throwing in the towel, but that 99% of the people who start out give up well before 100 videos. Persistence pays off. As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Finally, Mr. Housel says that wealthy people have a high pain tolerance. They can stick with it even when times are tough. Recently, I wrote about helping kids become money-wise. And this aligns with the concept of delayed gratification, understanding that anything worth having is worth waiting for. I found a quote from Maximilian de Generis that I like. Delayed gratification is a sweet lesson whose teacher knows the best is not right now, it is yet to be. Studies show that delayed gratification has many positive outcomes and is worth exploring. These 3 ideas are a spotlight of the article Mr. Housel wrote, and I like what he had to say. Ultimately, I'm hoping you'll be a lucky person and stumble upon great wealth. That's a fun fantasy. If you daydream about what you'd do with a lot of money, that can be really fun. Realistically, it's likely that you'll be part of the middle class. That's fine. You can have an interesting and productive life in the middle class. I'm certain you've read articles about the school bus driver who died with millions in her bank account, or the school teacher, or others. I read an article about a guy who drove an ancient Volvo. He kept it in top condition, kept it garage, and it was reliable. Because it was so old and in such good condition, it was worth a lot of money as an antique. More importantly, he had a great car. He was able to forego the ego trip of a newer car, lived with a great car that was affordable to drive, and ended up being worth more than its original price tag. That's not luck. It's good planning, delayed gratification, and perseverance. He was no Bill Gates, but he was a happy man. Consider the janitor who works for an Ivy League university who sent all 3 of his kids to the same university because as an employee, he had education benefits that extended to his children. An Ivy League education opens doors that otherwise would have been closed to his 3 kids. Most of us won't have the funds to send our kids to an upscale university, but we can send our kids to state college, a 2-year college, or a trade school. If we don't have the wherewithal to do that, we can teach our kids to read and help them find ways to improve their opportunity with what they have. I think most of us want success in some form. Perhaps we're an artist and we want to be recognized by an amazing expert, or we write and want to publish a bestseller. Maybe we have a head for business and feel we could become a CEO or CFO or some other top dog. I always look to the actor J.K. Simmons as inspiration. J.K. Simmons is very recognizable. He's a character actor who has been in over 200 roles in television and movies. You'd know him if you saw him. He worked for his success. He began his career in 1977. Did he dream of becoming a leading man similar to George Clooney or Tom Cruise? Perhaps. More importantly, he's worked consistently over the years he's worked. A remarkable achievement for any actor. Is he as recognizable as George Clooney? Yes, you know him, but you may not know his name. I think he is the perfect example of perseverance. Setting your sights on reality is a great strategy to become successful on your terms. You may have to examine what success looks like for you. If you have cancer, success is surviving. If you're impoverished, success is having a regular paying job. If you're addicted to drugs, sobriety is success. The measure is personal, and the measure isn't always a fancy car or a huge bank account. It can be a place to live, a loving partner, health, happy kids, or climbing a mountain as a blind person, as Eileen Oedvin did. No matter what you aim for, know that luck may play a role in your endeavor, that you must persevere, and that pain will likely play a role in your success. You have to work through the pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. You can visualize living your successful life, and that's always helpful. My book, Your Future Self, A Time Traveler's Manifestation Workbook for Intentional Well-Being, can help.